Okay, question number 25. If x equals 2 and y equals 3, what is the value of this? 3x squared y to the 0 over 5x to the negative 1 y squared. I'm going to simplify this before plugging in x equals 2 and y equals 3. So that will be 3 fifths still. X to the third on top and y to the second on bottom. This y to the 0 is not even necessary because it equals 1. So just leave y to the second on bottom. So that will be 3 and 5 times 2 to the third power, 5 times 3 to the second power. That'll be 3 times 2 to the third is 8 over 5 times 9. 3 times 8 is 24 over 45, and that reduces to choice C, 8/15. 8/15. Question 26. How does the graph of the function x cubed plus 1 compare to the parent function x cubed? This is figuring out if you know how to shift. I know a lot of you just plug things in and plug them in directly without shifting. I told you there were going to be shifting questions. Which type of shift is this? This is a shift 1 unit up, and that is choice A. 1 unit up, choice A. The shift is not grouped with the x. The 1 is not grouped with the x, so that's a vertical shift. 27, we got a box and whisker plot. The next day, 4 absent students took the quiz. If their scores were 63, 64, 92, and 93, what effect would this happen to the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile? The median is not going to change. If you add 2 scores to the left and 2 scores to the right of the median, 2 scores less than the median, 2 scores more than the median, it does not change the median because the median is the middle number and the middle number will remain balanced. So it's definitely not that choice. It's not anything that involves changing the median. So it's either going to be choice C or D. So do the quartiles change? Do the quartiles change? Well, the scores are going to be 63, 64, 92, and 93. 92 and 93 is over here, which means this median, whoops, don't touch it, Mr. Quarter. This score here, if this is the upper quartile and you have scores being added that are higher than that, this upper quartile is going to increase because you now have 2 scores higher than that quartile, so this quartile will move up. And this quartile, since you have now 2 scores that are less than the lower quartile, it's going to move lower as well. So the upper quartile will increase and the lower quartile will decrease. And what choice is that one? And that is choice D for question 27, and that wasn't too bad. We had a little over 50% on that one. It's one of those types of questions they're really seeing if you are analyzing your data very well. Ms. Juarez showed the graphs for the functions y equals log base 2 of x and y equals log base 4 of x. Which conclusion is incorrect? Which conclusion is incorrect? Well, let's look at those graphs. Draw some axes. So we have y equals log base 2 of x. And we have y equals log base 4 of x. How do you graph logarithmic functions? Well, remember, base to the y power equals x. So I'm going to rewrite this one as 2 to the y power equals x. Plug 0 and 1 in for the y value and solve for x. 2 to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the first power is 2. So we graph 1, 0 and a 2, 1. Vertical asymptote for a logarithmic function, so it looks about like that. This one we will now have 4 to the y power equals x. 4 to the 0 is 1, 4 to the first is 4, so 1, 0, and 4, 1. Gives it a look of about like that. Which conclusion is incorrect? The x-intercept of each graph is 0. That's incorrect. The x-intercept of the graphs are 1. So that's the one that's incorrect. And that is choice A. The graphs never intersect the y-axis. That is correct. That is a correct assumption. They do not intersect the y-axis. So that's not the correct answer because we're looking for the incorrect answer. Understand? The domain is x is greater than 0. That's true for both of them. They're both on where the x values are greater than 0. And the ranges are both all real numbers. So the correct answer, which is, the incorrect answer, is choice A. Question 29. Which function is represented by this graph? Starts out flat and then decreases rather quickly. Look at where you think the asymptote is. That's the first thing I see. What's the asymptote? And the asymptote looks like it's leveled out there at +3. So that tells me we have a vertical shift of 3 units up. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't help us on this one because they all have vertical shifts 3 units up. They all say +3, +3, +3, +3. So that doesn't help us out a whole lot. Okay. Which one is it, though? Which one is it? Do we have any horizontal shifts can we tell from? Quite frankly, hard to say if we got a horizontal shift. We do have a negative number, and we have a negative fraction. First off, the fraction means it's going to be decay. Decay functions start steep but end flat, and that involves fractions. So that's how I know it's not B or D. It's either not either B or D. Okay, so that means it's got to be either A or C. So which one is it? Is it A or C? Well, quite frankly, at this point, I wouldn't be sure until I graphed it out. So